My name is Cecily Morris. I'm the Chair of the New York State Economic Development Power Allocation Board. Our meeting is being held today, December 11th, a couple of minutes after 3:30. I want to welcome Board Member Dennis Trainer and Board Member Andrew Silver to the meeting today. I also want to welcome our Power Authority staff members who are participating in person today, and if anyone is participating via video conference. This is a scheduled board meeting and it was duly noticed as required by the open meetings law. I'm going to call the meeting to order in accordance with the bylaws, Article 3, Section 2. We'll begin first with the adoption of the agenda, but before we do that, do any of the board members have any amendments to the proposed agenda?
No.
Okay, thank you. If there are no amendments, I would ask that the agenda be moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. The next thing on our agenda today is the adoption of the minutes of the meeting from September 11 of 2023. Are there any motions to amend the minutes? Hearing no motions to amend the minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve the September 11, 2023 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Aye, okay, the motion carries. Prior to our meeting today, we were provided the list of persons who are going to be considered in the course of our Recharge New York, transfer allocations, all of that. Board members all advised that they did not have any conflicts of interest with regard to the list. So we'll move on to the Recharge New York Power, new extended and modification allocations. I will ask Senior Vice President Cruz to introduce who will be presenting today.
Good afternoon, Chair Morris, members of the board, and all in attendance. Thank you all for your availability today. We do have two items on today's agenda. One item will cover the administration and awards of Recharge New York Power allocations, which will be presented by Yale Brown. He is our Senior Business Power Allocations and Compliance Analyst. The other item is for a Recharge New York Power allocation transfer, which will be presented by Mark Schwartzberg, Lead Power Contracts and Tariffs Analyst. As this is our last meeting of 2023 for EdPAP, I wanted to thank you all for your time at these meetings and your due diligence, and quickly highlight that in 2023, this board awarded over 70 Recharge New York Power allocations to businesses and not-for-profits across the state. And this does not include today's recommendation of over 40 power allocations. So thank you again for your assistance there. I'll now ask Gail to begin the presentation relating to Recharge New York Power, new, extended, and modified allocations.
Thanks, Maribel, and good afternoon, everyone. Today, the board is requested to recommend that the trustees approve contract extensions for 7 allocations of Recharge New York Power to existing customers, approve modifications related to 4 Recharge New York extension allocations and/or related supplemental commitments, and award new allocations of Recharge New York large business retention, large business expansion, and small business and not-for-profit based power to 41 applicants. All applications were submitted through the state's consolidated funding application system. As in the past, new applications were evaluated on a competitive basis in consideration of the 12 criteria in the Recharge New York legislation. I won't read through each of the 12 criteria, but some of the key ones include job commitments, capital investment, and an applicant's risk of closure or leaving the state if they are not awarded a Recharge New York Power allocation. Applications for new R&Y power allocations have been considered, where applicable, under NYPA's Green Jobs Evaluation Incentive Plan and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Evaluation and Incentive Plan. Today's recommendations include 1 business with qualifying green jobs and 20 companies with facilities located in disadvantaged communities. Today's recommendations consist of the following: 7 extension allocations totaling 1.4 megawatts and supporting nearly 600 jobs, 4 modifications related to existing Recharge New York extension allocations and/or related supplemental commitments, 8 new large business retention allocations totaling 2.9 megawatts and supporting the retention of nearly 1,930 jobs, 2 new large business expansion allocations totaling 0.1 megawatts and supporting the creation of 90 new jobs, and 35 new small business and not-for-profit based allocations totaling 5.9 megawatts and supporting more than 10,760 jobs. If today's recommendations are approved, it is anticipated that approximately 15 megawatts of R&Y power would remain available to allocate. The awarded applicants will be offered Recharge New York contracts for a term of up to 7 years. The contract has provisions for the partial or complete withdrawal of an allocation if the recipient fails to maintain mutually agreed upon commitments relating to, among other things, employment, power utilization, and capital investment. In summary, the board is being asked today to recommend that the trustees approve contract extensions for 7 allocations of Recharge New York power to existing customers, approve modifications related to 4 Recharge New York extension allocations and/or related supplemental commitments, and award 45 new Recharge New York large business retention, large business expansion, and small business and not-for-profit based power allocations. This item is submitted for your approval, and I'd be glad to take any of your questions.
Do either of the board members have any questions for Mr. Brown?
No questions?
No.
No. Okay.
Good afternoon. This next item requests the board to approve the transfer of a Recharge New York power allocation. Some general reasons calling for a transfer include business reorganization, which can include a corporate entity change, like going from Inc. to LLC, a merger or a split, all resulting in a change of the federal tax ID. A sale of the business to another business, a merger could be this, resulting in a change of the federal tax ID as well. And moving from one location in New York State to another location in New York State. Today's request is for a customer that has moved its manufacturing facilities from a location in Syracuse to another location in Syracuse, necessitating such transfer. Specifically, the board is asked to approve the transfer of a 140 kW R&Y power allocation awarded to Midstate Spring, Inc., currently used at its 4054 Newcourt Avenue, Syracuse, New York facilities to a facility located at 1025 Hiawatha Boulevard, Syracuse, New York. Midstate produces high-precision custom springs and wireframes for original equipment manufacturers. This request is subject to the approval of the transfer of the R&Y power allocation by the authority, there being no material reductions in the base employment level or capital investment commitment associated with the allocation that would be transferred, and the transfer is addressed in contract documents containing such terms and conditions determined by the authority to be appropriate to effectuate the transfer. This item is submitted for your approval. I'd be glad to take any of your questions.
Thank you. Board Member Trainer, any questions?
No questions.
Board Member Silver, any questions?
No question.
So I believe in the materials that you were provided in advance, we have the actual resolutions that have been drafted and presented. We can go through them one at a time if you wish, or if you would like to move them as a slate, we can do it that way. Are you satisfied to move them as a slate?
Sure.
Board Member Silver, is that agreeable to you?
It is.
Then I would entertain a motion to approve the recommendations and pass the resolutions as presented for the new, extended, modified, and transfer of the power allocations.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have a second? Okay. I will ask all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. The motion to approve the recommendation and pass the resolutions is carried. We have a short agenda today. The next thing on our agenda, and we reviewed them ahead of time with executive staff, is the adoption of a proposed 2024 meeting schedule. We've all had a chance to look at it. Obviously, these are never set in stone because sometimes we have unforeseeable things that happen in not just the work part of it, but personal part of our lives. So, but it gives us a starting point, and as much as we can stick with this schedule, we'll all try to do so. Any questions about the proposed meeting schedule for 2024?
No.
Okay,
No.
then I would entertain a motion to approve the 2024 meeting schedule.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion is carried. We are now scheduled, based on that, for our next meeting to be held on Monday, February 5th at 9 a.m. You'll be contacted in advance to confirm availability for the meeting, but also to review any vendors that we'll be dealing with to see if there are any conflicts. Do either other board member have any new business?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do
Second.
we have a second from board member Silver? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
There being no opposition, we will consider the motion carried and we will adjourn. Good
Thank
to
you.
see everyone. Thank you for your work on this.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Good.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.